Hi, everyone. So, who's feeding the hungry? There's no doubt that during COVID era, the pandemic time, there's a lot of need. But let's face it, that need has been with us for a very long time. Today, I'd like to focus on who are those people that are taking care of those people who are currently needy. And let me tell you right now, this is not a conversation to really be thought of as it's only the people who are low socioeconomic status, the poor. Food uncertainty affects everyone. So this is Let's Talk with Robert Asencio. Today I have a great guest. She was here before with us. Her name is Chaplain Vanessa Tinsley. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much for having me here today. Looking forward to our conversation.
Well, welcome again.
Mhm.
So Vanessa, why don't you tell them what you do for a living and how we met?
Okay, great. I am the executive director of a thriving nonprofit called Bridge to Hope. We have been here in Miami-Dade County since 1988. It was more or less a kitchen table dream. We started off serving about 30 families, and it has grown over the years. Each crisis calls on us to level up and do something new and challenging. And COVID certainly did that, taking us from about 3,000 people a month to 10,000 people a month. And we haven't seen that need decline. So we provide basic needs services to low income and in crisis households. Thank you so much for touching on the fact, too, that not everyone in need is the poor. A lot of that is crisis, and much of that is done around our food pantry. That's our signature program where we focus on fresh, healthy food, a lot of organic produce and meats and dairy products to really help people not just become food secure, but to be well, so that they can thrive in our community and we can have and live in a thriving and beautiful community.
So if you live in Dade County and you know of a family that's going through a struggle and they need food assistance, look on our board behind us, Bridge to Hope. Let me tell you, I met this young lady, and I call her young lady because, man, her energy is like so positive, and she helps so many people. I mean, you are, correct me if I'm wrong, you're providing about 90,000 free meals a month.
That's correct. It's a huge tall order, but yeah,
How do you do
that's
that?
what we run. I'm not sure if you want to know the truth. We do it simply because we must. And I won't say that it's not a challenge or a struggle. We don't have any funding from the county, and that it takes money to feed that many people. But we do it because in our heart we know that we have to. The question is always, what happens if we say no? And that's where we're at now. The rising cost of living here in Miami-Dade County is just driving people who never thought they would need food assistance into the food lines because they're having to choose between paying their light bill and putting a meal on the table or being able to make their rent. I mean, I think everyone is feeling the crunch, so we can all identify. So we're seeing teachers, people who are well educated, people who have what we would consider really good jobs are struggling to make ends meet, and that's not good for any of us. One of the things that happens is the quality of the food declines. When the quality of the food declines, then the quality of life declines with it. Like, you don't think well if you're eating ramen noodles for dinner, and
Salt.
and sugar cereal for breakfast, and all the different things that people have to do. Cheap food is cheap for a reason. It's not really food, it's pseudo food. So putting healthy, nutritious food back into that really helps people to thrive, to do well, to live well, be well, both in the short term and in the long term. So there are a lot of challenges around it, but we have great partners that help us by donating food. Whole Foods right here in South Miami is, a huge part of that. Fresh Market down in the Falls, huge part of that. We have some Aldi supermarket partners. Paradise Farms, which is a local organic grower down in Deep South Dade that just brought us a beautiful harvest of mangoes and avocados. That's all organically and locally grown. So it's at the height of its nutritional value when we're able to get it to people. And without them, Feeding South Florida and Farm Share, our larger food bank partners that just do tremendous for us. Without them, we definitely couldn't do it. And without people like your viewers who just pop a few dollars into donating on our website.
Well, let's see.
Carrying us.
If they want to contact you or they want to donate to your Bridge to Hope, right? To be able to help others, because let's face it, we all have to help. We all must chip in. Today, we're helping someone else, but tomorrow we may need the help ourselves. Where can they do this?
Okay, so our website is Bridge to Hope, BRIDGETOHOPE.net, not .com, but .net, bridgetohope.net. And there's a contact form. If you'd like to just have more information or connect with me or anybody in the organization, you can do that right there on that contact form. And you can also donate on our webpage, but you can learn all about what we do there. There's some great photos and some information there.
So besides feeding the needy, or people in need, I should say, not needy, but the people in need, you also do some really cool stuff with workforce development. Let's talk about that.
I love that. I'm so glad you're interested in that. I think it's really important. What we're really all about is giving people hope and a pathway. You know, that's really the challenge sometimes, is like we don't see a way out. A lot of people lost their businesses during COVID, and they need to reinvent themselves, and they don't know how to do that. And that's why that workforce development piece is so important. And we live in the age of tech, and it's such a fantastic opportunity for people to find a niche. So we started a few years ago, very simply doing some work with students in the Juvenile Justice Department and teaching them basic computer skills to get them like Microsoft Office certified, so that they would have some pathway to better employment. That's something that wouldn't be so entry level. It was a huge success. The kids loved it. I loved it. And then we saw like 18-year-olds going out and landing better jobs than I have. So that was exciting.
Let's get into the program. What can they learn with you?
So now we have expanded that program. We are doing a fully online program so that people can either access it at our lab, which has traditionally been how it's done, but now they'll be able to access it from their cell phone. That'll be launching in the next 90 days. And there will be a plethora of programs they can learn. So Office certification will be one of them. We're venturing newly into some free platforms like Google, so that people who maybe can't afford to purchase programming from Microsoft would be able to use the Google platforms, the free tools, to launch a business or to work in an office, build their resume, those kinds of simple things. But beyond that, we will be able to teach web development, web design, coding, which we have done a little bit of in the past, but now you'll be able to full on learn coding. We'll be doing internet security, cybersecurity, big network development. I mean, just a million things. There are going to be over 100 learning modules and over 40 learning pathways for certification. And I'm really excited. You're the first person that's going to actually hear this. So we'll make our big announcement right now. We need a drum roll for this, because I actually have secured some funding for us to pay for the certification testing.
Wow.
So when people complete these modules, they will be able to, and some of these testings are kind of expensive, $200 or $300. We'll be able to pay for that, and they will be able to walk into this place of prospective employment with the certification to prove that they did these modules, that they passed the exams, and they are now certified IT professionals or certified cybersecurity or certified office or whatever they want to do.
It's a better employment, right?
It is super. I mean, I am so excited about this. I'm about to come out of my skin, because it's one less barrier. And, you know, let's face it, it doesn't matter where you come from. When you find yourself in a difficult place, it's hard to get back up, and there's so many barriers.
I think we share that in common. I think we share that in common. Well, we've hit rock bottom, and we've always, because you shared a little bit about your story. So really, I guess it's, for some people, it's just unavoidable, right? It's an unavoidable reality of life. Some people hit rock bottom. Some people, they lose it all, or they never had to begin with. But really, it's what we make of it. And what I love about you is not only you providing food to help people who are food insecure or food needy, but you're taking it one step farther, and you're doing these training services. Is there a fee to get on your modules?
There's no fee.
Listen,
nothing costs a dime, not your training, not your testing, not anything. And you can come and learn. If you don't have access to something, you can come to our center. You can work from our center. We have got beautiful thank you to Microsoft Corporation, because we have beautiful Surface Pro tablets, and we have, wonderful internet access, and people can come and work in our center and learn. But we'll have an app when the app launches, and you'll be able to take these modules right from your cell phone. So wherever you are, you can learn.
Wow.
And it's
so
great.
Not only does she have free training, provide free meals, she also has some funding to help people get certified.
It's exciting, right?
It is freaking exciting. I mean, who does this? So
crazy people who just like to dream that the world can be,
and without
all things.
funding from the county, that's just amazing.
It's really phenomenal. And I have to say, I have to give a shout out to our current county mayor, Daniela Levine Cava, who was an absolute champion for Bridge to Hope in her days as commissioner in District 8, and helped us immensely to answer the call to COVID, response to COVID-19. And every time we, needed to expand or dreamed of having a program, she was always there to support us and help us. She has a tremendous vision for this county being a place where everyone can thrive. And I'm sure we wouldn't be where we are today without her.
Oh, she's been a great partner. She's been built immense goodwill since she's gotten public will, that is.
Yeah.
A lot of people, there's some things that people talk negatively, but there's far more. She's trying to do better for the county, and that you have to give her a compliment, whether you like her or not. I compliment her.
Yeah, that's my feeling. Yeah. Like I want to be around people who believe in, the rising tide that can lift all boats. And I feel like she's always done that for us. And because of who we are small grassroots organization, like we're not United Way supported or any of those things. Miami Foundation is one of our funders, and they're absolutely amazing, along with Florida Blue. But it's this is a grassroots effort, and it's not just my grassroots effort, but every single person who has ever given a dime has made this possible.
So I just turned my phone on because I was going to go to the calculator, but I think I figured it out. 90,000 meals a month times 12, about 1.2 million meals.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
A year?
I try not to do the math. I know that last year we pushed out close to 2 million meals. I don't know what we'll finish with this year. We never expected like that major growth that we experienced during COVID. We thought it was going to recede, and honestly, we should have known better, because every crisis there's always there's always an economic rebound.
Sure.
Whether it's local because of a hurricane like Irma, or whether it's a little more national like 9/11 was, or global like this global pandemic. We are feeling that economic rebound. And I know for myself, like the business where we're at, where we have our space in Cutler Bay, we watched 5 businesses close during COVID. And these are people who
when you say close, did they close down temporarily, or they actually went out of business?
I mean, people who went out of business after 15 and 20 years, and this was their entire livelihood. Things happen, and so now those people are having to reinvent themselves and find new careers. And so we're finding more and more people. Like, we have not seen a decrease in the number of people seeking services. So it's a different group. It's a demographic that was impacted because people unfortunately passed away, or are having lasting health impacts, or have had tremendous economic impacts. And I know as a business owner, I just feel like I kind of feel their pain, to labor at something, for most of your adult life, or all of your adult life, and then suddenly it's just gone, and you feel powerless and helpless because you have no control over the pandemic, and you have no control over that fallout. And now you're 40 years old, and you've always made your way in the world.
And it's
and
like,
have a nice
what do I do now?
It is exactly that.
Obligations. I have to feed my family. I have to make bills. On that note, there is, and I know you're going to be passing on information about this, but under the American Rescue Plan, there's some funds that came to the state of Florida for homeowners who own homes who fell behind on because of COVID, fell behind economically because of COVID. They lost their jobs. These people need to qualify, but if they do qualify, they're eligible to receive up to $50,000 per household to be able to help them with mortgage payments or HOA payments, or debt that would otherwise threaten them keeping their homes. This is not a giveaway. This is your tax dollars. I know, Vanessa, you're going to be passing on information to the people that you serve, the clients that you serve. Guys, and I don't want to make this about politics, but at the end of the day, South Florida people have been underemployed and underpaid for a very long time. We were just talking about the cost of living, how high it's gotten, the housing, the rent prices. I mean, they're pretty high. So to have an organization and an entity like yourself, something that you're providing, such as free food training, is just, for me, tops. How can we help you? How can the audience help you grow and serve?
So to start with, what would be a tremendous help for me is, can we just, if you're into social media, can you just get involved with our social media? Engage with us on Instagram. It is Bridge, BRIDGE, the number 2 and the word hope. Bridge, number 2, hope on Instagram. On Facebook, it's just /Bridge, TOHOPE. The words all spelled out, Bridge to Hope. It's a great way to see, kind of keep in touch with what we're doing. You can share, because part of this is that people don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know until we experience it. We don't think of, I have a teacher now who teaches at Miami-Dade who's going through just tremendous economic upheaval because part of their income was constrained during COVID-19. And they're really struggling. And you see, just, it's average people. It's people like you and I, and, the people watching this podcast. It can happen to any of us. And we need to share that information. And we also need to share resources. We need to help people understand that what we envision as a person in a food line is not necessarily what it is. It's not, people who didn't go to school. It's not people who, they're just lazy and shiftless. And it's not people who are trying to take advantage of the system. And do those things exist? Of course, but they're less than 2% are people just trying to get a freebie. For the most part, these are hardworking, well-educated people who are just feeling the economic impacts, or they have experienced a crisis. We have a lovely young woman who, her story just is phenomenal. She got really, really sick. This is somebody who comes from a good home and has a good education and has wicked skills, and really knows what she's doing, but she got very sick and was sick for a long time. And so that left a gap in her work history. And when she finally recovered, which didn't know if she was going to even make it, now she has a huge problem because she doesn't have work. And,
how did she survive?
Ended up homeless on the, just her, like I said, her story of survival and perseverance is just phenomenal. And you just realize without those wraparound supports, like, this is a person who needed everything to be able to take a minute to get her life together, to get back into the workforce. And it took a long time.
And that's the case with a lot of people. I mean, that if you give them it's not a handout, but give them a hand up, give them a little bit of an opportunity.
That's exactly.
I'm a living proof of that. I been on my own since I was very young, and I did not have marketable skills. And if it hadn't been for people giving me an opportunity, I wouldn't have gone to school. I wouldn't have had a career, and I wouldn't have been able to serve. And I hope to continue to serve. So I am a firm believer. Vanessa Tinsley from Bridge to Hope. Why don't you give them the website one more time?
www.bridge2hope, BRIDGETOHOPE.net.
You've done this before.
I was a teacher for 30 years.
So Vanessa, I know that. How are we doing on time, Elian?
Good on time.
Okay, so Elian Borrero, our producer on the back end of Let's Talk with Robert Asencio, he's given us the opportunity to get this show on the air to you, error-free, which is spectacular, right? Something I couldn't do myself. But as we're kind of wrapping this up, we know, again, not to be redundant, but yes, to be redundant. We know people are hurting. What are your words of encouragement to them? And where can they, for those people that have Spanish, we call it a pena. For those people that are embarrassed to come out and say, I need a hand, what would you tell them?
Just do it. Just come. please just come. We do not have an S&M program. We know that we are all in this together. We all help each other. Some of my volunteers, matter of fact, most of my volunteers are also people who are now clients or were at one time clients. We are in this to solve it together as a community. It's not about, just come through and let us just hand you something. As you said earlier, this is about giving people a hand up. You can be part of your solution, and there's no shame. This is the way the world is supposed to work. We are supposed to help each other. We all have gifts. My gift happens to be the food and the education piece. We do health services and screenings and other things. That's my piece. I don't have your piece. But we all need to bring our piece to the table. And when we do that, that's how we build great societies and great communities. So I would say to you, let me invite you to be a part with us of building a great community. And that means you get what you need. That's part of building that great community. We can't be a great Miami. We can't be the best Miami-Dade that we can be unless every single person has their needs met. So please, let's meet your needs so that you can bring your gift to our community and you can rise and you can be the best you can be so that everything becomes better.
Your being genuine, it blows my mind because look, for those cynics out there that say, oh, no, that's a religious. She's a chaplain. But has she preached? As far as I know, I've never heard of anyone that has said that she's asking you to be part of any type of religion, any type of belief, change anything other than she's here to help. Amazing. I will tell you, I support you. I hope I can help you. I hope that we can have you back on the show. Maybe we can do an in-field interview where we can show
That would be fabulous.
video of what you do.
We would love that. And, you have helped us. And, this is the thing is that we should never underestimate our contribution, that you don't have to put your hands on the bags to make a difference. You don't have to put money in the bank to make a difference. Sometimes it's making the connection. It's helping people understand the problem, bringing the education. Everybody brings something to this. And your contribution has been invaluable. Your friendship, your encouragement, your faith in what we're doing, and the way you share it with the community, it means the world to me. So I thank you for that. So please don't ever diminish the part that you play in this. And I say that to all of you that are, I don't know where the camera is, so
Right
just
there.
go like that. Okay.
Right
To all of you there, that whatever the gift is that you bring to the table, just bring it and don't measure it, because you never know, like that one person you help, it can be everything. You said it earlier, people who helped you, and look at what you're doing for the community now, what you've done with your life, the ways in which you've served in the military and in law enforcement, and just, that what you have given back is far more than what was poured into you. But without that we would have never had that. And I know in my own life, the same is true. People who just did little things for me, changed my life. And because they did those things, I'm here and I'm able to do these things today. And who knows, the people that come to Bridge to Hope and are helped, we don't know that, what good is being unleashed in our community because of that. So everyone has something, and all of it matters. It's like Legos.
Yes.
We just got to all put our pieces together.
All interconnect.
Yes. And connect them and hook them up, and let's build a great city together.
So my challenge to the elected officials out there, anyone who's in public service, is get off your duff and help the community, help the people who are in need. And also, if you can't do it yourself, do what you can to look up people like Vanessa Tinsley, Bridge to Hope, because these are the people that are filling the gap. There's a lot of need, but it doesn't have to be as bad as it has been. We believe and hope there's a future, a brighter future for all of us, but we must all get involved. On that note, I got to say, this is great conversation.
Always.
I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll drop us a line. Let us know what your thoughts are. Let us know what messages you'd like us to continue to provide you, but also shoot Vanessa a little line. Let her know how you can help. This has been Let's Talk with Robert Asencio. To the Millers, thank you. To Ilian on the behind the scenes there, doing the production, and more importantly, to Vanessa Tinsley and her crew at Bridge to Hope, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you do to our community, serving our community. It's invaluable.
It's truly a pleasure. Thank you for having me today. It's been a blessing.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.